Daddy and I have actually experienced a little bit as a couple. And the way that we've experienced it as a couple is because Daddy's white and I'm black, some people don't necessarily like the fact that we're together as a couple. They might think black people should be with black people, white people should be with white people.
But Daddy's white and you're black and you're together, so it doesn't really matter if you're white, mixed race or black.
Yeah.
You can be together whatever colour you are. Mom.
Yes, darling.
Who is this player?
This is a Paris Saint-Germain player. Well, he is at the time of the making of this card, and his name is Marco Verratti. Now, this is a limited edition card. Now, Daddy's probably one that used to obviously like collect these kind of cards when he was younger, and I have bought these obviously for you and for Hezzy.
Yeah.
And I don't fully understand all cards, but okay. So the red box will say like defense. Middle box, which is blue, is control, and the green box is attack. Okay, that's better. Because when I looked at it earlier, I was like, what is what? So the number he's got on attack is 70. The number he's got on control is 96. I guess it's out of 100, so that's very high. And then the number he's got on defense is 77. So he's an all-round, very good player, really.
Okay.
Yeah, so Marco Verratti. Have you seen him play before?
No.
Okay, I don't know what year he played. I don't know. But anyway, should we go on to another one?
Yeah, who is this?
Alright, this is James Milner. Here he's in his England kit, and he used to play for Liverpool. He was a great Liverpool player, and now he plays for Brighton. I saw him playing last night. He's got his starts like this, but he is a very hard worker.
Yeah.
He might look a bit funny on this picture, but that's not a great picture they've taken of it. But yeah, I mean, like, Rude, you know what? When you look at someone and you can see them in their funny stance, you might think, oh, they look a bit weird, didn't they?
Yeah.
There's some people in the world, they will look at people and they go, oh my gosh, you look weird, I don't like you.
Yeah.
And that's not really very nice, is it?
No.
No? Do you think anyone's ever done that to you?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think anybody's ever looked at you and thought, oh, you look weird?
No.
What do you think people think when they look at you?
I look like a cool boy.
You think they...
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you're confident like that, and that's how you that's how you think the world perceives you as a cool boy. That's really good. But there are some people, they don't always necessarily feel like that. Okay, I've got a question for you. Topic of discussion, okay? There is something called racism. Now, have you heard that word before?
No.
You've never heard of the word racism before?
No.
Do you know...
I think I've heard about racist, but I haven't heard about racism.
Okay, so they all derive from the same word. So you have heard of it. So racist is another way of referring to the term of racism. So if somebody is a racist, that means they show racism to people. But do you know what it is?
I think I know what it is. Like, say I'm white and you're black.
Yeah.
I'm not white. I'm mixed race.
Yeah, you're mixed race.
And I say, oh, Mum, you look not good. You don't look funny. You look funny and all messed up.
Okay. Well, when you're saying I look funny, I look all messed up, is that because of how I'm dressed?
It's because of like your headscarf and your thing. But when you take it off, you look better.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for your opinion. But no, so you're kind of on the right track, but not quite, yeah? So obviously, like, I could take my headscarf off.
And you look better.
And I'll either look better or look different. Or I could put it back on again and then do it maybe neater or whatever, and it might look better. But the point is, I could always take my headscarf off. That's something that I could change.
Yeah.
I could go and change my clothes. I could go and put on a different outfit or whatnot. But racism is about something that people can't change. It's about
their skin colour.
the colour of their skin. That's right. So, for example, where mummy's black, you're mixed race, you know, daddy's white or what have you. Your skin colour, I can't wake up in the morning and go, do you know what, I'm going to change my skin colour today. I'm going to take off my black skin. I'm going to put on white skin.
You can't just go...
No.
Because then you're all of your blood will come off your body and then you won't be able to be in the world.
Well, precisely. Your skin is something that is a part of you that God has given you that you can't change, can you? No. When you was being made, you didn't get to decide, oh, I'm going to be this colour or I'm going to be that colour. You were the colour that God made you. So basically, with racism, people will look at someone and go, oh, I'm black, you're white, I don't like you because you're white. Or I'm black, you're mixed race, I don't like you because you're mixed race. That's what somebody who's racist will do, because they don't like someone according to their skin colour. But that's not fair. Why do you think that's not fair?
Because you focus on you don't need to talk to other people.
Well, that's more about focusing on yourself and making sure that you do the right thing in your life and not worrying too much about what other people do. That is something that's good. But really, it's not fair because your skin colour, like I said, is something that you can't change, yeah? Now, I don't know if you've ever experienced racism. Has anyone ever said anything to you like, oh, Rue, your skin looks funny? No? Well, I'm glad that you've never experienced it. But there are some people that have experienced it. Funny enough, Daddy and I have actually experienced a little bit as a couple. And the way that we've experienced it as a couple is because Daddy's white and I'm black. Some people don't necessarily like the fact that we're together as a couple. They might think black people should be with black people. White people should be with white people.
But Daddy's white and you're black and you're together, so it doesn't really matter if you're white, mixed race or black.
Yeah.
You can be together whatever colour you are.
That's exactly what I think. That's what Daddy thinks. And I'm glad that you believe that and that's your understanding. But also that's your understanding because that's all you've known, isn't it? Because I'm your mummy, Daddy's your daddy.
Yeah.
So for you, that's normal?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. For you, that's normal. But for some people, that's not normal. And all they've ever grown up in is having two parents that are the same colour. Yeah. So two parents that are both white or two parents that are both black. So like my parents are both black. Daddy's parents are both white. Yeah. But we've obviously chosen to come together as a mixed couple, yeah? Now, whatever colour you are, what comes into being together is something called love, isn't it?
Yeah. When our powers combine.
Yeah, and we create special beings like you.
Yeah.
But, like, obviously, for us, that's never been an issue whatsoever. But what I was going to tell you about was... Don't I get a touch? I thought you'd find that funny. What I was going to explain to you was one time Daddy and I were out. We was actually out with Mummy's family, and funny enough, it was one of the first times we'd all gone out as a family. That's another story.
Let's put a pin in that one.
But we was out together and we was walking in central London, and some man shouted something across the... I can't even remember if it was a white or black man now.
Black guy.
It was a black guy.
Yeah.
So he shouted across the road.
Oh, was it?
No, I think he shouted at you.
Yeah, well, no, it was.
Like, why are you taking... I don't know what he said. I can't even remember because I didn't focus on it.
Why are you taking out a black person?
Yeah.
You're very switched on, you are.
That is what they said. And it's like they didn't like the fact that
you two was together.
Yes, Rue, you're following my story well. I'm glad that you're understanding it. Now, for me, like you said before, I'm going to come on to your point now where you said you just do your life and don't worry too much about what other people are doing. Yeah. That man was doing his life, but he was bothered by what we were doing. And we were out, we weren't troubling anybody. In fact, all we wanted to do was enjoy time together and enjoy what we wanted to talk about. Making a future together, getting married, creating a new family. At the time, we didn't have any of you children. We didn't know what children was going to have, but we had a feeling that God was going to bless us with a beautiful family. Yeah. And that's what we were focused on. That he did, precisely. And, you know, if we got bothered by what other people said, we might not be together if we let that bother us. Now, what do you think it takes as a person to be able to not let what people say bother you? Like, how do you have to feel within yourself?
Strong.
Yes.
Confident.
Yes.
And just don't react to the stuff that they're saying. Focus on what you're doing rather than listening to what they're saying and get your feelings like not good.
Yeah. That is very good. I mean, because I was only looking for one word. I was only looking for confident. But you gave me be strong, be confident, and don't get easily bothered.
Yeah, and be focused on your own stuff. That is also something that even adults struggle with sometimes, watching other people say, oh, their life looks like this, and, you know, my life only looks like this. But really, like you said, you should always be like, hey, I'm just working here. I'm working. I'm head down. I'm working. I'm trying to be the best I can be. I'm trying to help my family be the best they can be. And that's it. That's all I'm doing. I'm trying to honour God, and that's it.
And on a daily basis, I think that's what people should be focused on, like you said, Bro. Now, I won't go into it too deeply, but just to give you a little bit of background, son, racism kind of came from back in the day when one race, well, people say there's only one race, whatever. One set of coloured people treated another set of particularly coloured people wrong. So, like, black people were treated like slaves, and they weren't treated well, not well at all. Some people even got killed whilst being slaves for other people, which was very wrong. And now sometimes some black people will hate white people because of what happened in the past.
And And you know, you have to say, you can understand.
You can understand
that people would have some animosity, which means ill feelings, bad feelings towards people that have done that. Like, I can't imagine you much like someone who had done something to your parents. Do you know what I mean? Or to your mummy or to your daddy. And it's the same thing. Like to other people's ancestors.
Precisely.
People who came before them.
Yeah.
And but the problem with racism is it's stuck. That's the real problem with it. It wasn't something that came about, you know, something happened and then it got dealt with and then everyone lived happily ever after. Yeah. It was something that still till now is a massive problem.
Yeah, and it still shows its ugly head in different kind of arenas. Obviously, like Daddy was saying, if someone did something to your mummy and daddy, you'd probably be like, well, I don't want to be friends with that person because they don't love my family and I love my family. Now, for some people, that stemmed back to their grandparents and their great-grandparents and their great-great-grandparents, and they felt like, well, so-and-so did this to my family, so how can I be friends with them? And that is a challenge, and I wouldn't ever want to take it lightly, that it's, you know, something that you can just forget, because it's hard to forget things when somebody has wronged you, but God does call us to be forgiving. So that's when, if somebody decides to change their ways, obviously it's different if someone isn't changing their ways, and you must still try and love people, but come here with your cheese feet, but you must still try and love people. I know, I'll give you a massage because you'll like that whilst you're talking. Like, you must try and love people even when they're maybe not loving you and doing nice towards you, but generally God calls us to be forgiving to people. So if someone does come back and say, do you know what, I recognise what was done in the past was wrong and I don't want to live like that. So if like a white person came up to a black family, a black person said, look, back in the day my family wronged your family, but I think that was wrong as well, and I ask for your forgiveness on their behalf or what have you, or I ask for your forgiveness and I want to live right with you and I want to love you, then the person who was wronged, the black person who was, you know, affected badly from the racist acts in the past, they would be called to be like, you know what, I do forgive you. But yeah, I said I'm not going to go into that kind of topic too much, but one thing I would always want you to know, son, and really believe and live by, is that you have been made beautifully, handsomely, perfectly, uniquely, no matter what colour skin you have. Do you know what I mean? Like, whether you are you've got lovely light brown skin like what you've got, or whether you've got dark brown skin like mummy's got.
Lovely dark brown skin.
Or lovely dark brown skin like what mummy's got. Or whether you've got, you know, white skin like daddy, or you've got...
You don't want it too pale, okay? It goes like...
Anyway, however pale or light or whatever you are, it's all beautiful because God made you that way. And God doesn't make mistakes.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah?
And there was another thing that I was going to throw out as well, is racism that people often don't think is racism. So for instance, if a white person walks into a room and automatically recognises, oh, there's like 6 black people in here. Some people would go, oh, that's not a problem. Like, he's just recognising what's in the room or whatever. But the problem is that if 6 white people were in the room, he wouldn't even count.
He wouldn't even think, oh, there's 6 white people here. It'd just be normal.
You see?
So
do you understand that, Ruby? That's quite. It can get quite advanced.
So, because he doesn't really like black people.
It's not even the liking. Like, that's how deep it is. Well, they wouldn't know it's because of any kind of what's called prejudice or anything, but they would just be aware. They would just be aware, and that is wrong too, because just because someone's a different skin tone
to
or
you, like, it should be to the point where it's just normal. Like, I don't look at daddy and come home every day and go, oh, I'm married to a white man. It's just, I'm married to daddy, he's a person, and it's just normal. I don't even look at you guys and go, oh my gosh, you're mixed race all the time. Like, it's just, you're our kids, it is normal. Like, it's just got to be such a normality that it's not even like a thought process. And we obviously want to talk to you as our child about these things, because we'd never want you to experience something like going into the world, meeting new people and experience something and not realise what it is, maybe. But also, at the end of the day, just love people, like you said. Stay focused on the things that you've been blessed to have in your life, you know, your family, your football, and you do your best, son. because you do your best and you let God do the rest.
And just on the recognising of things, like I do remember my mum saying to me as a youngster, saying, "Oh, we don't see colour, we see people." Like, you know, and what she meant is, you don't look at someone and judge them off of skin colour or cultural diversity, do you know what I mean, or whatnot. You do it off of who they are. Like a bad person is a bad person. Do you know what I mean? Someone who does
like robbing your house with
bad stuff, right?
Money.
And for a whole nother time, even those people deserve a second chance and deserve redemption. But that's a whole nother topic. But yes, a bad person is a bad person, and the light is doing it again. But a good person is a good person.
No, precisely.
Carry on, mother.
All right, yeah, precisely. And I think like Daddy was saying, and like Grandma has rightly said, like seeing people and loving people for who they are, like they're good characteristics. And if you can help people with their bad characteristics by setting a good example for them, that is something that's good to do. And also often people always, when they're talking about racism, they always mention black and white. But there's also things that happen to other people that have come from different places in the world. Do you know what I mean? And they've had hardship just because of where they were from. But and basically, you cannot just dislike someone because of what football takes, and I'm joking.
That's what I say. This will never be happy. This will never be good in our house. Sorry.
Only this.
Liverpool.
Well, and a bit. Oh, you want to high five? Go on then. And a bit of Chelsea. Yeah, a bit of this.
Slither. But like, you have to look into people when you meet them and read their character, get to know them for who they are as a person. And you know, if you're a well-rounded person, like, and you're especially living in a country like ours, England, especially living in a city like London, you meet people from all different walks of life, come from all different countries. So you shouldn't pick your friends according to, okay, you look like me, you look like me, and you look like me, so I'll be friends with you.
There's also nothing wrong at the same time as, you know, I don't know, seeing similarities. Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
so like for me,
oh, your hair's similar to mine. How do you do your hair? I do my hair this way, like, because that's obvious.
Because I'll have
you know what I mean?
Other random black ladies who've got short hair and want to get it to my hair colour, and they'll come up to me in the street and it's an instant topic of conversation. They're like, oh my gosh, I love your hair, how'd you get it like that? And we'll be talking already. So obviously we've started talking because we have found some common ground. But I tell you what, I've had many older white lady, mostly older white ladies that come up to me and they're like, oh my gosh, I absolutely love your hair. And they really love it. And I don't know if it's because they feel like, wow, maybe I've never had the confidence to shave all my hair or whatever it is, I don't know, but they've gone out of their way to come and talk to me about it. So I even find that quite cool, because I'm like, we are completely different. But because again, there's something else that you found maybe different. Because that's the thing, sometimes your differences can bring you together. Because you want to show appreciation for someone else's different. So I remember when I was at college, I obviously was homeschooled, so I wasn't seeing different people other than my family most days. But then when I went to college, I always used to think like the girls I would see, white girls with straight hair, and I always just used to think they get up, they brush their hair, and it's like that. And then
until you married me,
exactly. And then until I started, like, for the first few weeks to go to college, girls would come with straight hair, and then suddenly someone's coming in, their hair is bare curly. And I'm like, how did you curl your hair? And they go, this is my actual curl, but I always straighten it, but I just didn't have time today. And I'm like, oh. And that's something that was a difference that, like, actually helped us kind of like have a topic of conversation, because it's something that I was like, oh, that's different. I'm interested in that. Let me learn. So always having a wants to learn new things as well about other people, that is really important.
It is, and I'm going to end it there only because you've been brilliant. You have listened and got involved for about 20 minutes, like, or roughly there, somewhere there and thereabouts. And that is good concentration for a 5-year-old. Very, very good.
Well done,
and
mate.
yes, your brain is very big. You continue to challenge it and develop it. And remember, no matter what anyone says to you, you are wonderful. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, as the Bible says.
Okay.
All right, buddy?
We love you, Grimwade gang.
Bye. Peace.
Take care.